Fuck off, Craig.
In this episode of Yakuza, it's just a face or something.
Did I hear an Among Us sound effect go off?
Yes.
No.
Yes.
Why would you think that?
Oh,
Sounds like
I have to make sure I'm not
mumblings of the
insane.
absolutely deranged.
I have to make sure I'm not insane and just hearing random game sound effects.
You're definitely going crazy. There's no such thing as an Among Us sound effect.
God. All right, well, welcome everybody to another episode of Actual Play Broadcast. We are back with X Tempore. Things have happened. Progress was made. Trouble was found. And I would
Not
like
in
to...
Chinatown this time. Yeah.
Well,
I mean,
it's not
it was kind of big, but it wasn't in Little China.
Yeah.
So,
So who would like to give a little brief recap of what happened last time, since we are down a different player today, but this player at least won't have to worry about being, accosted.
not in game at least. So we. Oh my god, what was Ellie's character's name?
Oh,
I'm going crazy.
Arnold.
Yeah, Arnold
Like
ran
Palmer.
into. Yeah, Arnold ran into some interesting people at the shooting range who, at least from what they stated, were interested in their shooting ability and said, "Hey, come down to this bar that we hang out at, where we like having tough people go to, and you fit the bill." And then with a handshake was delivered an async ability, probably, that gave a subtle suggestion to, yeah, definitely go there for dinner tonight and take your friends too. So they did that, and we went there and found that it was actually a pretty good place. It was a very authentic, like old Earth style Chinese food that was allegedly very tasty. Some of us were a bit suspicious when the owner of the place sat down and didn't end up eating it, but the owner was a little bit curious about us and our time there. With some mind reading, we found that she the place is a front for, it was the Triad, right?
Yep.
For the Triad, and she believes for some reason that we stole her money. Knows that we are the old Earth popsicle people, but is at the same time like, what the fuck are these guys, and how did they do that?
So our account being used by criminals thing has already come up.
Yeah, maybe. I don't even know. We haven't figured that one out yet.
They mentioned when they gave us the money that this is the kind of account that like criminals use to like move shit to and from. So we may have pissed off some illegals.
Oh, I forgot about that. That would explain that then.
I remember.
But she seems to
all.
think that we stole the money personally, and is unsurprisingly upset about that. Some of us on the way back just kind of dropped our to-go boxes and trash cans, but we found a tracker on the bottom of another box. Traced it back to the same place, unsurprisingly, where it was relaying the data, specifically to the same person who had tried to hack Arnold a little while ago. Just can't get enough of Arnold, I guess. And
Fair.
I think we got rid of the tracker. We did determine that it only broadcasts location, so it's not like listening to us or anything. At least I assume we got rid of the tracker, right?
You guys mentioned something about getting rid of it. I didn't ask for specifics because it was just one of those things. It's like, just, throw this away.
Yeah, I mean, they already know where we live, I guess, but we might as well not just carry it around with us elsewhere. Yeah, just throw that away wherever, or out in airlock if you want to be fancy.
Mhm.
And that's about where we landed. There was, other than like some things that just only happen with individual people, but that can come up in character as we talk about it, probably.
Okay.
Yep.
I know one person did witness Olympian politics in action. Emphasis on the action part.
It was fake as fuck. Big, oiled up, muscly, definitely heterosexual guy stabbed another big, muscly, oiled up, definitely heterosexual guy.
Yeah.
And he went down
To
like a
prove
chump.
how straight they were or something.
Exactly. Which immediately told me that poison was involved. And I convinced a bunch of people that their money was. Well, I don't want to get involved on the gambling side of things, but like, I was like, yes, that fight was rigged. And they immediately took to online. So, you know, I'm sure that won't cause any problems in the future.
Never.
Everybody knows internet discourse never gets out of hand.
Yeah.
And then I have the names of the former Olympian leader and the new Olympian leader, if you would like that, because I remember fucking that up last time.
Yes, please.
Former leader Jacques Fabian.
Yes.
And then Paxton Caesar.
Definitely neither of those are gay porn star names. Straight as up. Yep. Don't worry.
Hey,
their Olympian bloodline is secured in their definite
Could-
heterosexuality.
it could have been Paxton Uranus.
See, but that's like too obvious, you know? Like,
But it's funny.
I mean, yeah.
So, I didn't name everyone's AI companions. I knew I forgot something over the
Our
week.
music.
We'll worry about that later.
I need to know now.
Bad. So Matthew,
Yo.
during the interim, everyone was interested in looking into entertainment and ways to occupy themselves and entertain themselves. What is your character? What does Matt do for entertainment in this new wild future? And what does his morph look like?
I mean, for the most part, his entertainment is going to be a lot of fucking reading. At least for now. Like that may change, but he is very much interested in all the new science that has been around to exploit and learn.
Anything in particular that grabs his attention?
I mean, part of it's like the new, like, actual legitimate aliens, and then what happened to the Earth's biosphere. Honestly.
Okay.
A lot of it is very like his interest can be summed up as technical manuals.
See, two fucking nerds.
Yeah, dude. I built what is basically a researcher who has dabbling interests. And his morph is fuck. Let me pull up. It is a bipedal humanoid vulpine type thing. Very short, barely beats 5 feet. With full black thick calluses on the hands. Very not akin. Reminiscent of like pads. And some what one might look at as like Egyptian styling eye markings. He is solid colored in a like a dark auburn. And yeah,
Okay.
that's about it.
Just to kind of explore Matt's interest, I'd like Matt to make me a either knowledge zoology or knowledge geology when looking into the Earth's biosphere.
I will go with zoology.
Biology would also work, but that is more general knowledge.
Mm. I have both zoology and biology.
Yeah.
I'll start with zoology at least. 1D100. Did not respond. Let's try this again. Oh, the Dice Maiden's typing. Let me take a look. Zoology. Damn, even if I flip that, that's not particularly good. That's just barely above my total.
So with zoology, when you're looking to the animals, most of what you're like finding during your research, you're used to researching through like textbooks and the internet. The mesh is a bit different. All of the bits and pieces of information you are getting are primarily speculative. You're not really getting any research papers. And anything that you find that's about zoology is typically about smart animals today and how they're manufactured, or some things on just exozoology on planets far away. So it's not exactly useful when looking at the greater Earth sphere. I'll let you make a biology roll.
All right. We'll try this again. And hopefully not roll like shit. Are you fucking kidding me? I will flex that to get 68 under 75, which I believe is a superior super successor.
It's a double superior success. So you get to ask 3 questions in regards to biology on Earth.
On Earth.
Yeah.
So obviously the ecology changed. Is there anything that survived that we would recognize?
So there are parts of the world that are still green, but the constant threat of war machines coming to hack you to pieces or turn you into a terrible monster have made it to where it's not a livable option still. Like the Ozarks in the US, you have parts like the most northern parts of Canada,
Well, I'm not even just
Greenland.
talking about sapient. I'm talking about are there bugs, fucking, and shit like that, sapient, non-sapient.
So
Are there
when
mammals? Are there still snakes around?
anything that is bigger than a rat likely is dead.
Okay.
The ocean is black. From the various catastrophes that were set up by the Titans. Anything that is big enough to be killed and easily noticeable generally was killed, and that was before, and that was after everything humans were doing to harm the planet.
Mhm.
You learn that several species went extinct within just 30 years of you guys going into the pods. You see roughly 200 different species were just wiped out.
Okay.
For various reasons. 2 more questions.
How has the biosphere been to handling things with cornerstone species essentially gone? Is it like continually degrading at this point, or is there some new stasis that's been managed?
It's hard to tell. The Earth is a no-go zone.
Yeah.
If you approach Earth's atmosphere, you are shot out of the sky by satellites. So anyone who has managed to survive being shot out of the sky and landing on Earth has no way of communicating back because all communication is blocked from there as well. Doesn't mean it's impossible. Nothing's impossible, in a manner of speaking, but it's hard for any actual observations to be made. The estimations is that the planet will reach a state of equilibrium at some point, with the smaller, less noticeable species likely being the ones to thrive. Although the difficult part right now is that since it's been 15 years, some of those species are still in the process of dying.
Yeah, it's a bit early to see how things will shake out.
Yeah.
It
What they
seems.
do know is that with ocean life being quite literally devastated and just unlivable, it would be difficult for any large animals to survive with the water being in the state that it's in.
Okay.
Last question.
I guess the final thing is this is going to be less about Earth, more specific, and more about like I guess our possible terraforming and shit and the wake of that, but like how indicative of pre-Earth biology is the planets that we're going to now, that we are inhabiting, which I assume would be like Mars.
So Mars, Titan, and Venus are the primary hosts for terraforming. Titan has taken to it well due to its size and it is a bit colder, but with us being able to gene hack anything to be survivable, it's not dramatic. There are some parts that are a little thin on air. It doesn't quite have an atmosphere. That's the big thing that's an issue for Venus, is that Venus already has an atmosphere and it is hostile.
Yeah, and fucking pressure is incredible.
Yeah. But again, that's a thing that could be adapted around. There are some morphs that look a bit alarming that
Fair.
can survive in that atmosphere, but for the most part, habitats are these giant floating cities in low atmo, in the upper atmo. Mars is a work in progress, but Mars has a lot of political and social issues going on that has kind of crippled its progress.
Okay.
There is a faction called the Barsoomians that, with your old Earth knowledge, you get the sense that it's IRA, but it's the IRA but Martians.
Oh, great.
Going through these, you see several forums of reclaimists and ecologists sitting there talking about, we need to go back to Earth, we need to resettle it, we need to, take back what's ours, we can't let them beat us. Like, there's a number of the reclaimists have like a lot of chest beating that they like to do. The ones that are, from what you can tell,
Serious.
knowledgeable and serious usually have something that they have access to for like engineering and have worked with terraforming with these other 3 planets, and it's like, here's how I would go about it. Like, they have a background for it, so it's not all just people beating their chests. Let's go back to Earth. There are some people that's like, this is doable. We just have to be smart about it.
Mhm.
And then a lot of people's counterpoint is like, you get to go fight the headhunters. I'm not doing that.
Fair, because there's still like roving kill squads of stuff, right?
Yeah, there are still roaming machines of death down there.
And they don't they
And
target
worse.
anything that grows above as like certain biomass for all intents and purposes.
It's they don't actively kill anything that's above a certain biomass, but it's just hard with how wrecked the environment is for anything large to survive.
No, okay, I get that. I'm just checking if like for all intents and purposes, like they're set to, because I figure they're set to kill transhumanity, but whether they're like just actively killing anything above a certain size.
They're not actually killing anything above a certain size, but they like, it doesn't matter what morph someone's in. These machines will just kill them.
Okay.
So they have a sense for like the transhuman mind, which scares people because how can they tell?
Mhm.
They've done tests where like they've stuck a person in a rat's body, and the hunter killer was just like, you die. So it's like they can detect the person, like can detect the mind, despite the fact there are no sensors that should be able to do that.
Okay.
And hey, killing you is just you getting off easy.
Well, yeah, but I don't know, and I'm not really exploring that bit.
Considering what happens to some people who get targeted with that stuff.
Yeah, and like most forums, once something like that gets introduced, people go off the deep end a little bit and start ranting, raving, and posting completely irrelevant shit.
Yeah, I'm not too worried about that. I'm more concerned with the actual like ecology.
You do see a few things for like gate crashing pop up, and like you click on them a little bit, like read some xenofauna, some xenoflora, and at one point you kind of just pass out, like you're just tired. You just didn't realize how late you've been staying up, and then the next thing you know, all of your roommates start flooding in. Some of them looking worse for wear, just a little freaked out, and start talking about a bug of some sort and pointing at, oh, they brought home food. How nice.
No, sup, guys? Fuck. Oh, I must have been out longer than I thought I'd be.
Oh,
I
yeah,
threw
you
out my
were,
food before coming here.
as did I.
It was Arnold and Mako that did not. And that's when the bugs were discovered.
Yeah, and Moki is like, well, we finally found a place that's good. Oh, we found a place that serves really good food, and this sucks that it's evil.
And all you got was this lousy shirt? What? Like,
It sucks
guys
that
are-
it's evil.
I feel like I'm missing context.
All we got was a lousy tracker and someone who thinks we stole their money. That someone's a like crime lord, by the way.
Oh, so like the thing that we were told about.
Yeah.
Oh, great. So us getting paid is already proving to be a problem.
Couldn't just have been good food, couldn't it?
That would be too easy. If anything came easy to us, we'd still be in 2020.
I don't know if I would say nothing comes easy. I think we dodged a lot of bullets, honestly.
I mean, I suppose. All right. Well, I guess let's put together our next plan of action. Are we gonna like turn them into the cops or security? I mean,
Did you forget where we are?
yeah. I mean, like they drugged you, right?
Oh no.
No.
Oh,
No, the tracker was just on a box.
oh, the tracker just was. Okay.
Yeah.
I guess do we want to let them know at least that we are being watched by crazy criminal syndicate types? They may not do anything immediately. At the very least, we might be able to get some added security. We do kind of pose high value targets.
Possibly. I actually don't know how they would react to something like that because, I mean, as far as we know, they're not really breaking any of the rules of the swarm, but I assume they wouldn't want like everything a criminal syndicate does to happen all the time.
You see, this is why
I don't know.
fucking our anarchists are complicated. What is against the like rules that aren't rules, you know?
I don't know. I'm just as new to this place as you are.
No, yeah, I'm just thinking aloud.
Yeah.
I'll tell
I
you
guess
what's
it's
not
worth a try.
complicated if they try something.
Oh yeah.
Does anyone have any sociology knowledge skills?
Hilarious.
Well, let's find it.
No.
Or any politics, or you could reach out to a contact now that you all have rep.
Closest one for me is social engineering.
Mm,
I don't really know if that's more of like I know how to do things to act in a certain way rather than like know things that other people. Well, I don't know. Maybe I don't know what the question is.
I would allow social engineering role. It may not be a direct like what would happen in this scenario. It might be, well, how can we make this work?
Hmm.
Oh, okay, let's see. My rating for it isn't that high, but it's decent. Where's the?
I'd also allow a memetics. I believe everyone's muses are equipped with that. 21.
That's a 21 out of 55. So.
Nice. With social engineering, you know that the main thing that autonomous care about is autonomy. If your autonomy is removed for one reason or another, then they'll act. Otherwise, you remember your discussion that you had with Carly, which was that the swarm operates pretty much off of popular vote whenever anything big does happen. So if you wanted to sit there and kick out the triad, you would have to garner enough favor to say, hey, these people are going to start infringing on rights. So you'd A, have to be able to prove it, and B, be able to convince enough people of it if you wanted to just remove them, if you wanted to stay on the swarm. But you also know it works both ways, that if they do anything to harm your autonomy, then they will be viewed as a threat and then lose any support that they do have.
Yeah.
So they have to walk on eggshells around you, and you can't just outright saying, hey, these are criminals. You'll be shrugged at. You'll be like, and? Nothing's illegal.
Yeah, it's like it's not actually illegal. Okay, so I think what we would want to do is figure out what exactly they want to do to us. If anything, they might just be trying to figure out who we are and what's going on. And
yeah, well, my thought was more keep us separated.
I mean, we're on the same scum swarm, so we would have to move.
Yeah.
Although I think I would like to know exactly how the money was moved to us in the first place. Well, it wasn't really moved to us. It was already in an account, although it was converted to modern day credits. Maybe that was taken from them in some way. Assuming that's even what happened. I mean, they could just be wrong.
You
In
would
which case-
need. Oop, go ahead.
In which case, we just have to figure that out and convince them of that.
You if you have a skill that deals with economy or that deals with money,
Yeah.
then you could roll that and potentially get some insight depending on the skill.
Yeah. I don't, but I just meant like talking to whoever we initially talked to about that and just figuring out who did what and didn't ask. Unless somebody does have that skill and can just do that. I don't know.
Yeah, I guess my worry is that we're going to eventually enter a point where they are going to be on less friendly terms with us.
Yeah, I'm trying to avoid that.
You do know the individual that helped you set up both your rep and your money situation was Satasha Fairbreeze, or the head admin for personnel.
Oh, okay. Does she take appointments? I don't know how to.
You could send her a message and find out if you can schedule a time with her.
Yeah, I'll do that. I'll look her up and just send her a message saying, "Hi, I had some questions about the credits that we were given from the old Earth accounts. Is there a time all of us could talk to you at some point soon?"
Okay, you send that message off, and you'll wait on a response. Does anyone else want to do anything?
Not specific.
Don't have anything specific right now.
Arnold wanders to his room. You hear the sounds of him taking apart his weapons and putting them back together. So he does that for a while. But eventually you get a message back from Satasha. I have an open spot in about a week. I'll give you a meeting time when we get closer to the day. Just to make sure everything lines up, and depending on where we are in orbit, if we have to stop for any reason.
All right, sounds good.
Is there anything in particular that you want to talk about other than like the money situation?
It's mostly just how exactly it got to us. We may have run into some trouble related to it.
What kind of trouble? It was a simple process.
Someone powerful seems to think we stole it from them.
Oh, okay. Well, we'll talk about it in a week. Let me do some checking on my end.
All right. I don't know if they're correct. They could just be wrong. But yeah, if I don't know exactly how quickly, if at all, any more trouble might come up, but if it does, I'll send you a message about possibly scheduling that sooner. I don't know how things will progress.
Understood. If you are in any trouble, reach out to Sarah.
All right, thanks.
And then, unless there's any more immediate business that folks want to do after being accosted by the Triad.
I still haven't actually gone and gotten armed yet. Or I kind of have because Arnold gave me a gun, but I wanted to go to.
I want to talk to Pappy.
Yeah, if you're about to like time skip, that is, I would probably do it in the intervening time at some point.
Do you already have your weapons picked out that you want?
Yeah.
Okay, then we won't need to, unless you want to role play that out. We don't need to.
Yeah, it's fine. It's just me. Yeah, it was going to be the what were they called? The guns that can like change between different types.
Oh, the polyguns.
Yeah, I was going to get the pistol one.
I think that one can go hold out heavy machine.
I think that's right. Yeah.
Yeah, I can swap between any of the pistol types.
Okay.
Yeah, I was just going to get a current version, so or a Eclipse phase modern rather than historic modern railgun
Variant.
version of
Gotcha.
that. Yeah, I know how to talk.
Oh, good. That makes one of us.
But we'll say a week goes by. In that week, is there anything anyone wants to look into? Most of you are at this point caught up on most current information, as well as your skills have been sharpened up to today's standards.
Yeah, I was wanting to try to talk to everyone about the what was it, firewall stuff, but I think we need all the players available for that.
I mean, you
That'd
can
probably be a good idea.
Yeah, you can introduce the idea in like, hey, I've been talking to a group of people. They seem really cool. That depends on you, though.
Yeah. Well, I will go ahead and say the next time all of us are together and have time, there is something I wanted to bring up, just to make sure I'm not rushing into something and getting others into trouble unknowingly. But it would need to be a pretty private conversation. And I've been told about a place. It's on one of the other ships that people normally go to for like sketchy deals and such, but it should work for our purposes too.
So bring your gun. Hey.
Yeah.
Well, that doesn't sound
BYOG.
suspicious at all.
Hmm.
Said, well, that didn't sound suspicious at all.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
totally. I know.
And considering that we're just collectively tracked by people who don't like us much, misunderstanding or not, may want to be a little cautious about that.
Yeah, it's nothing super crazy that needs to be talked about. It just has precautions that should be taken, especially with something like that having just happened.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, like I said, once everyone's together next time.
Next time, TM.
Yeah, or next time everyone's together. I don't know if it'll actually be the next time we play or not.
Yeah. And then we were never all together as a group for the rest of the campaign.
Oh,
Oh my
I'm
God.
so upset.
If that happens, it's like there's some point where I'm gonna be like, fuck it, I'm joining Fireball anyway without telling anybody. We're just going.
Yeah.
Mm.
But what do people do in the week's time that's between?
I want to stay on top of the whole Olympian thing. See if anything comes of that.
Sure. What would Osborne be keeping track of in connection to the Olympians? How would he keep track? What would he watch?
You know, the channel with the stuff and the things.
Okay.
Mostly, I guess, learning to navigate really the general, because it's not really like dedicated like websites or anything anymore, right? It's all like one giant blended experience, effectively.
No, there are individual sites that people can still go to. It's just how everything's connected is a mesh.
Okay. Because I imagine he's mostly keeping a pulse on like different social medias effectively,
Okay.
as well as mainstream media, if that is such a thing, and just kind of observing to see if, because he knows a lot of people, at least in that situation, were, going online to talk about this. He's curious if it's spread or if other people have had similar ideas or anything like that.
So,
Yeah.
do you have any media-based skills?
Ha! 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 Ha!
Okay. Give me intuition times 3.
Julio. I want to believe. Let's see. Hey!
Oh, wow.
9. I did it.
So Osborne's interested to see how this progresses. You realize that your impact was not small when you pointed this out, because a number of you find out to be head administrators of different sites are on the scum swarm.
Delightful.
And they bring up, it's like, hey, this looked rigged. A guy who was seemed like a medical expert to me, or what passes as one nowadays, pointed out that, like, this was going on to Jacques. This shouldn't have happened. His claims are illegitimate. And a stink is being raised. So Paxton's ascendance to leadership is in question by a number of people. Some of them identify themselves as Olympians, but you find out some pieces of information that you didn't have before.
Okay.
One of the things that you find on these sites are Olympians talking about, like, clarifying that pure Olympians come home. It's an ideological belief of being a pure Olympian. Some people enjoy being an Olympian for the fame, the fortune, and all the vain reasons. A number of them, usually considered to be the vast majority, ideologically believe that to be an Olympian is to be the top of the rung for meritocracy. People who believe in that sort of concept, but to its most extreme. You either succeed in an endeavor or you fail. It's do or die at all times. It's very it is a meritocracy, but it's, in a moral world where people can kill each other and come back to life and be upset about being killed. So there are beliefs attached to that. What you do notice is that a number of sports and other, like, trids, bids are shut down. A number of them are just shut down because the Olympians leave. Like half the stars, half the crew gone. The call was made. They was like, cool, we're done, peace out. So in the media is trying desperately to get ratings back up. A number of corporations that have shows, like, there's more airtime of video dramas, of movies, a lot less like sports and live shows. Apparently the entertainment history has taken a hit. Along with this, you also know that a number of high-profile providers of like bodyguard services closed down shop. They say they're no longer taking contracts. The PMCs say nope, we're booked up, or give some other reason for not being able to accept jobs. So, yeah, there is movement.
Very curious.
I will say that as well that a number of Olympians on those forums are like, "You're right. That looked wrong to me," or "I'm our medic for our team. Our team is still taking jobs. We are not following this false coward." Things like that.
Yeah.
But those are few and far between.
Is claiming to be an Olympian on an online forum the equivalent of claiming you're definitely 6'5", ripped, and have an 8-inch hog online?
With that and saying that you're trained in special forces.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
You made a mention of like somebody claiming to be Olympian online, and that's just been in the back of my head this entire time. It's just some dude on Eclipse Phase equivalent 4chan being like, actually, I'm an Olympian.
Yeah.
And just desperately trying to get people to believe that he's like incredibly based in real life. When he's most definitely not.
He's rather cringe.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, there seems to be a number of people that are taking notice. It's like, hey, something didn't seem right in that fight. And that's starting to spread, but it looks like a number of the Olympians are going just AWOL. They're just kind of disappeared from public eye. Paxton has made several live interviews. Usually he talks very authoritative. He never directly talks down to anybody. But it doesn't take long for you and other people to notice. It's like, man, he's kind of fucking arrogant. He thinks he's all that in a bag of chips.
On a totally unrelated note, for sure, definitely. I would like to look up, has there been any like major conflicts, like war level type stuff since the Titans and Earth and all that?
You got a knowledge skill that might be able to help with that. If not, I'll take an interface check.
I mean, I have security ops, I have military ops.
I'll take military ops.
Okay.
Special military operations.
Oh, I see. Okay. I want to believe. Right. Just over.
You don't see anything that outright calls any military actions that occur. Especially not here in the Sol system. The imagery you kind of get when you start talking about like gate crashing worlds is the Wild West.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, nothing official.
Yeah. All right, that's it for me, I think.
Alrighty. Who else?
Well, Mako will be. Well, she probably spends some time just first moping about being targeted by the triads. And fuck, man. But then she kind of dives into her own little research and just practicing with free fall and just moving in 0G. And, well, she might probably learn that there are some things called exosuits that she will be like nerd gasping about. Because they're cool.
They are.
And they're mechanical marvels and probably used for outside repair work on a spaceship like this. And she wants to learn more about them in general.
So, give me a hardware.
Hardware, robotics, or electronics?
Go with robotics.
Cool. Da, da, da. Well, I have 80, so 20, and I roll 26.
So with 26, it's there are more. You have your industrial grade exosuits, you know, the things that's like, oh, I need to lift this massive fucking object.
And or do something extraneous labor, etc., just outside of normal environments.
Yeah. You see that like the premiere of exo armor is what's referred to as hoplite suits. You look at them and you find them to be the middle ground between Master Chief and 40K is the level of suit you're looking at. Mind you, that's a big gap.
Mm-hmm.
But they're in that middle area depending on how they're made and what they're made to fight. They were produced not long after the fall as a way to try to fight back Titan war machines, and they have mixed success because they rely on so many systems that if any one of those systems gets compromised, it's a cascade.
Indeed.
Because the system will turn. There are a number of reports that the ones that did get hacked, the upper part of the body would turn all the way around while magnetizing the feet to the ground and making sure that the waist, you know, with its gyro, like it has that stabilizer, it keeps the waist stable while the upper body turns 180 degrees. So a lot of people died when coming in contact with that because they did not have the cybersecurity attached to the suits that they should have.
Twisted apart.
Mm-hmm. I'm just reminded of that scene from Iron Man. And yeah.
Yep.
Are there like ranging from powered armor to tactical dreadnought armor to actual mecha, or is it just Terminator armor?
You don't quite get there. You're never there are people that have spent a lot of money on making a Gundam, essentially, and for it to get shot out of the sky almost immediately. Or to have its systems compromised and have it blow itself up.
Oof.
It's just not practical. Now, there are morphs that people can get that are for, like, excavating. We're talking full mountaintop removal excavators that are morphs but that's only that way someone can have finite control over particular systems.
Yes.
No one has quite made anything that is super effective. You see, the closest thing that people have to like living out old anime tropes for you is an arachnoid morph.
Yeah. Well,
Which
she
just
still
looks
is
like one of the
interested in
robots from Ghost in the Shell.
Yes. Yay.
Tachikoma.
Oh, it does.
But exosuits are typically either very like light, hey, this is supposed to help with labor. This is a military grade piece of equipment that if you are seen using, you don't walk around casually in it. This is something that if you're using it, someone is going to shoot you on sight or call an entire squad on you to bring you down. And anyone that's tried to make anything more advanced or bigger is proceededly made fun of, shot out of the sky, made fun of again, and become the butt of everyone's joke for 5 months.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That's what you learn.
Interesting. She will. What did you say?
No, go ahead.
She might actually see if she can get some lessons on just how to operate one of these exosuits.
Okay, that shouldn't be a problem. We'd have to reach out to a couple people, but they'll be willing to teach you if you're willing to spend some rep.
She is.
All right. Spend the time, spend the rep. You get to learn how to use exosuits and their basic controls.
How much rep did we have, or did they take credits?
No, they do not take credits.
All right. They seem to have.
Yep, rep
Yes.
or nothing.
Yes.
God, I love anarchists.
Yeah. Did we have? How much rep did we have?
You got 100 that you could divide up between everything.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
The only ones that you weren't able to throw it into were IREP, because that's firewall, and you don't work for firewall, and XREP.
I see. Yeah, well, how much rep do I have to spend?
For someone just to teach you the basics, just spend one. If you have at rep, that would be what's preferred. If you want to spend anything else, it's going to cost 2.
Yeah, I have autonomous.
All right,
Slash
spend one
powder.
autonomous rep.
Cool. All right. Do you want me to roll anything, or?
Nope, you don't have to roll anything quite yet. Because this is you picking up the skill, from my understanding, correct?
Well, she already had pilot ground, so she technically can't really do it, because it's, unless it's using the flying one, which is pilot space.
I mean, you're just picking up lessons, so you spent what you needed to physically, or well, socially, I guess, because it's rep. For someone to walk you through the basics of it. Are you wanting to get a specialization?
Well, she's picking up this to how to use the thrusters, because she already knows how to do the ground thing. So she.
Oh, gotcha.
and also familiarizing yourself with jamming, because you can jam while wearing it.
Yeah,
Okay.
someone can absolutely help you with that. That's not a problem. But I'm not gonna have you roll anything for that because that's you being taught.
And she doesn't have to roll any integration checks on jamming because of a trait.
That's nice.
Yes. She takes to it like fish to water.
What's jamming again?
It's rigging
Oh, nice.
to use Shadowrun terms.
Yeah.
Morgan or Matt, anything that you do in the week leading up?
I guess since I've been sort of satisfied by Earth biology, I'm gonna look at gate crashing and xenobiology and how the fuck all that system works. Is it like Old Earth where I have to buy the time to go out and hope to God I get a sponsor?
How do gates work?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, looking into gate crashing, how that functions is that you either have to have a sponsor or be able to fund it yourself. That last part isn't difficult, all things considered. It's purchased via gate time. It's a tremendous spend of power to essentially keep the gate open enough for you to pull things through. Like a minute of gate time is 5 gear points, which is a lot of fucking money.
That's a minute? Jesus.
Yeah. It's expensive. That's why most people either are sponsors or corporations fund entire expeditions where they'll keep that gate open for an hour or more just to have to get all the equipment through. That's why gate crashing is usually seen by the corporations as an investment. So they only invest in promising looking gates that they have like if the data comes back, it's just like oxygen, breathable, or like it's wet, like actual water. That's usually when a corporation's like, cool, we're down. We'll spend a bunch of money on it. If it's like conditions, dog shit, it's raining acid, corporations won't touch it. But some people who like to use gate crashing for the entertainment purposes and have like, watch these chuckle fucks survive on a planet with like radiation and shit, and like see how they do. That's a thing.
Man,
Like,
Survivor has gotten wild.
Yeah, Survivor
become space Bear Grylls.
Yeah, shit like that. Except instead of Bear Grylls trying to figure out how it's like, oh, I'm in the middle of fucking nowhere. Let me see how long it takes me to get back to civilization. It's, hey, I'm in the middle of this not meant for living area. See how long till I die.
That's so fucking bizarre. And that would actually be very like kind of concerning to Matt. So for like scientific purposes, generally habitable or otherwise more preferable ecosystems are the ones that get explored, and then the ones that are hostile are just fucking reality TV.
They're reality TV at best. At worst, they're like relegated to like, hey, we're gonna put a research center here to see like what we can like find out about this planet. Like, where's that in the solar system? In the if it might not even be in this galaxy. Let's see if we can identify the galaxy.
Okay.
Because they have found some that send them elsewhere. Give me a. Do you have a knowledge gate crashing or interest gate crashing?
I mean, I am expressing interest in gate crashing. The closest thing I have is surveying.
For a knowledge skill.
For a knowledge skill, yes.
Does your muse have it?
No.
Oh, okay.
This is sort of Matt would have no way to have like knowledge gate crashing before this. So like this is sort of him learning and exploring and checking out that possibility.
Give me because you have a week to do this. Give me a intuition ×3.
Cool. Wow, is my intuition that fucking bad? Interesting. Here we go, hoping.
Ooh.
No, not happening at all. Can't even flip
you-
that.
You start watching one of the episodes of this Extreme Bear Grylls, like morbid curiosity like grabs you and you're like, I have to know what's going on here.
I'm gonna hate myself, but I have to know.
Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of Grizzly Mare. I am today on exoplanet X2453, also known as Radiation Wasteland, and just like the camera pans out, and he's in the middle of a dark gray, sickly green sky. Just like wasteland. There's like small brushes. We are on day 7. I can already feel the radiation levels getting to me. I've lost some hair. But not all is lost. There is groundwater that is drinkable. If I follow that water long enough, I might be able to find a source of food. However, believe it or not, there are large predators that roam this wasteland, searching for anything they can eat, and today I might be on the menu. Stick around to find out.
There is not a small amount of notes that Matt is taking as he watches this. Less about the dude and like his thing, but like he is kind of like, as the dude moves around, Matt is mapping out on like a sheet of paper where he's going and taking notes on the differences in the ecology. He rewinds a lot to like try to catch anything he might have missed.
On the next episode, Alicia gets voted off the island or something.
You see that his longest record is 93 days? And each episode is a day in the life that gets cut up, usually in like the 2-hour segments.
Mm.
The 93 was on a planet that had a atmosphere similar in like its composite to that of Venus, but with less pressure.
Okay. Yeah, this is utterly baffling to him, but also weird, morbidly interesting as hell.
Yeah. And then Morgan, your week leading up to the meeting.
Since it's been an issue a few times, I'm going to do what I can to look into ways to protect myself and my friends from cyber attacks if possible. At least more so than I am already. Because I think it tests like stats for defense, but
yeah. Give me a either knowledge cybersecurity or a infosec check. This knowledge cybersecurity will get you more information.
okay.
Infosec is more of, well, I know what would make this difficult for me.
Yeah. Did I not take? Huh. I didn't take cybersecurity as a skill. I've got computer science and security ops like separately. But I'll just do infosec since I have that as well.
I'd also accept security ops.
Oh, okay. My security ops is much lower, so it's.
So which one are you rolling then? You're rolling infosec then?
Yeah.
Okay.
I might have not taken it because that's a skill, and I might have thought that was just what you're supposed to do. I don't remember. But it is 80. I rolled a D200 instead of a D100.
It's not conducive to. It would have been amazing had you still rolled low enough.
Yeah.
20.
Yes.
So you know that most systems are acting passively. You could do a thing that you've heard people talk about, which is called forking.
Mhm.
And then you could have everyone connect to your, stay connected to your network, and you have your fork constantly monitor that. The downside is that that's going to kind of stretch your fork to its limits.
Yeah.
You are literally creating another version of yourself, which in some places is illegal.
But not here.
And not here, true. This
It is another person.
Yeah.
That's just your entire life purpose is this singular task I'm assigning to you. So that's
Correct. Which you could prune it down to do functionally.
make a fork that's not my entire mind. It's just
Part of it.
Yeah.
oh,
But the prospect of it to your character is uncomfortable. Because you would literally have to have someone or yourself copy your
Yeah.
brain and then essentially go through and cut out information that you deem not relevant to its task.
Yeah, that seems like an incredible undertaking. So that might not be worth it.
It's not an incredible undertaking. It does take a little bit of time. It is more difficult than just copy pasting yourself onto a new drive.
Yeah.
That can be done terrifyingly quickly.
Yeah.
But you also know that your situation is kind of unique. That if you were to stick your fork, that would also be an async, into a Ghostwriter module, which would be the most effective way for it to, be able to monitor everyone, it does not get to have physical contact and is basically inside a metal prison when its brain wants to reach out to meat. It wants to reach out to brains. And from what your conversation with Carly was, that would become a massive issue.
Yeah, it's actually damaging for an async to not be in a biological brain, right?
Correct.
Okay.
Damaging primarily to the psyche because you're in a constant state of sensory deprivation.
Yeah. It's like taking this new extra sense and just turning it off when you're supposed to have it.
Yeah, when you're now your entire being is formed around it.
Yeah. All right, so that's not a great way to do that. I assume there's not a way to biologically have a Ghostwriter module.
No.
That's just made of brain instead of. I mean, I guess if you did that, it would have to be brain sized, which wouldn't really work.
It would have to be brain sized, and it also has the different issue of you potentially entering a feedback loop with yourself. If your two psionic paths touched each other, and since it's experiencing the world very differently from you, and it's as you look more into forking, it looks more and more like a terrible idea.
Yeah, maybe I won't do that. At least not for this. It's maybe there's some other task that it's a good idea for, or other situation, but that hasn't come up yet. So
someone who's not an async, it's this is the perfect solution. I just copy, cut some things out, stick it in a Ghostwriter module, and I have it actively monitor everyone's shit.
Yeah.
But by adding just a little bit of Pepper being an async, it becomes the worst option.
Yeah, at least if I don't
It-
want to like abuse this newly sentient AI I just made out of myself, which I don't.
Yeah, and that's
So,
before you start looking at any philosophical implications
yeah,
of you copying something that has all of your experiences and perceptions, and then cutting away pieces that it doesn't need to have to be relevant.
yeah. Like I'm basically making it a person first and then unpersoning it.
More or less, but it won't be a person during the time that it's a person and then unpersoned.
Yeah, I guess there isn't like any stretch of consciousness during that time. So
Yeah, so it becomes a question of, is that okay?
yeah, I don't know. That isn't really something I've had to think about before. So, all
Eclipse
right.
phase.
Yeah, I guess an option could be to have one of my friends make a fork of themselves and put that fork in a Ghostwriter module. But if that fork then doesn't have the necessary skills to do the task, then it doesn't really work.
You know that everyone's muses has a level of cybersecurity that they're in charge of.
Yeah.
Unless you forked yourself for everybody and then made it in charge of cybersecurity, this is their best option. And this means everyone would have to have a Ghostwriter module, which means that's another brain in person who they can communicate with directly like that. It
Yeah.
is a
Mythic.
solution. Whether or not you're all ready to take that step is a different question.
Yeah. Well, if
you already
the
have
muses
two
kind of
voices in your head. You don't need a third.
yeah, if the muses have it handled, then I mean, I guess that problem is sort of solved already. But I did
Yeah.
learn the Ghostwriter modules are a thing, and they're kind of neat. They're not very good for my own psyche, but the concept
Well,
could be
Well, it
interesting.
won't be you, to be fair. It'll just
Yeah.
be you, kind of.
Yeah, it'll be another extremely similar person to me that I'm depriving of all sensory input and agency.
Wouldn't that be illegal for autonomous?
No,
Oh, do they
because
not
it's
care about forks?
they do care about forks, but like
Like,
the
I'm not
way
even trying to be facetious. I'm just actually
No, I know.
curious because they're all about autonomy, and you're just making a thing to not have autonomy.
And generally, what you're doing to that thing is you're putting it down to be more or less a program.
Yeah, I mean, I guess
It's not like you're making a person. They then live for a little bit with their full like experiences and ability to function, and then you prune it all away. That's not part of the process. It's just like you copy something, you modify the file, you save, and that's your fork.
Okay.
I guess there is the fact that, like, I mean, if it's a copy of my own mind at its current state, then I have already decided that I want to do that, and that could like be considered a form of consent in the case of like
Yeah.
it's like it has that same past experience.
And it was just like, this is what I was wanting to do, and this is what it's doing.
Yeah.
If you have a alpha fork in there, that becomes a different conversation, because the
Okay.
alpha fork, an alpha fork is a perfect one-to-one copy of your mind.
Oh, like if you just don't modify it at all.
Yeah. If you then stick it in a Ghostwriter and tell it to do what you say, well, it has autonomy to a degree,
Yeah.
and that might become problematic for you.
That would be pretty similar to like just loading one of my backups and putting it in a morph, right?
Yeah.
By the way, do we have backups set up? Have we
Yes.
done that? Oh, okay. I don't. Hopefully, we won't have to use that and then deal with the question of whether that's us or a copy or anything. But it's good to. It's better to have it than not have it.
Fireworks are going crazy.
Wait, why are there fireworks going off?
Labor Day's tomorrow.
Do people do fireworks for Labor Day?
They do here in
People
in
do
this area.
fireworks for Tuesday here.
Yeah, I guess that's fair. But yeah, okay, well, it is good to know about that. Is there any, I mean, are there drawbacks to like making a fork of myself and just putting that fork in a particle stack and identical morph. If I just like, yeah, well, just want there to be two of me so I can be in multiple places.
That depends.
Yeah.
If you ever plan to integrate with a thing, so take the files and add them to your files.
Yeah.
Yeah,
because you can like have the forks re-merge, right? So you can.
Yep. Depending on how long it's been, that becomes very stressful.
Oh, if you've been like experiencing different things for a long time, and now you merge those experiences together.
Yes.
And they have duplicate memories in places.
Or at Tuesday I was in 7 different locations. And
and
then
like thinking back to that time, it's
yeah. Your brain figures it out, but
Eventually.
the process of lining everything up properly is messy.
Yeah.
The longer you go without doing that, the worse it gets. You see someone that says, you see commonly, it's just like if it's been more than a day, it can become a problem.
Yeah.
And
So it
then
would
you
be
see
the kind
people
of thing. Oh, sorry.
You see people talking about they knew a person that reintegrated after 3 months, and they had to be essentially institutionalized.
Oh man. All right.
There
So
are
if I
some,
do that, I will not do that.
yeah,
There's some people.
there are some people who said that they reintegrated after like a year, and it was, made easier by being on hallucinogenics, but it was still a rough ride.
Yeah. So it would be the kind of thing that it would be most safely done if you're reintegrating very regularly, like not going very far away from each other, so you can reintegrate on a daily basis or something.
Yeah, and some folks, it's I'm gonna make 7 forks of myself today, and then we're gonna all reintegrate later tonight.
Yeah. So it's like, oh, it's a really busy day. Let's go and fork myself out to a bunch of places. I imagine it gets more difficult if there are more of them too.
Yes.
Okay.
Mr. Smith, there's more of me.
me. Well, it's good to know I can multi-box that life if I need to.
You also know that alpha forking is illegal on most planets.
Is it due to like the
We don't want to deal with it.
personhood part, or are they just like, we just don't want this to be this complicated?
There are a lot of reasons why it's illegal. There are cases where people with strong personality types will make a fork, and then it will just fuck off, come back, and it's just like, well, I need to reclaim everything that you like, everything you own. I'm you, so die.
No.
That causes a problem. Usually, you're taking up another morph that could be used by someone else. So there's a problem from a different angle if you care about people like being in bodies.
Yeah, if there's like if you're in a place where there's a shortage or something.
Yeah.
Or if you don't have the money to just order one from wherever and you need to get them locally.
Yeah.
Amazon.
No, Temu. Do not order your morph off Temu.
Yeah.
IKEA.
Yeah.
So you have to assemble it.
Yes.
So, like, forking is very useful, and autonomists and researchers are generally okay with it.
Yeah.
Like, there are some caveat stuff. It's like, hey, don't do this with it. Like, don't enslave an alpha fork of yourself. That's kind of weird.
It's kind of cringe, bro.
It is also kind of cringe. But they also, a lot of places are like, there's a lot of shit we'd have to deal with. Like, if one of your egos commit a crime after you fork, who gets arrested? Do you both get arrested? It's problematic. Just don't do it. Is there a solution? Just don't do it.
Yeah, I guess then, yeah, I could see people just being like, oh, well, like making a fork specifically to do that to get around getting arrested if it weren't the case.
And what happens if you were to if it committed a crime and reintegrated into you?
Yeah, like,
They can't
okay,
just remove that part.
yeah, I can see how that gets complex. Where is the line drawn between an alpha fork and a different fork anyway? I'm just going down a rabbit hole in character on reading about how all this works.
Alpha fork is a perfect one-to-one copy. You modify anything, it's a beta fork. If you modify it heavily, it's a delta fork, which usually like your task is to pick wood up and put it down over there.
Yeah, you pass butter.
You pass the butter. Oh my god.
Yeah. So in places where alpha forking is illegal, is it common for beta forking to also be illegal? Or do
Beta
people
forking
dip ionic technicality with that?
Delta forking is usually okay because it's like, hey, I need you to do a thing.
Yeah, or you're
in
doing the
fact-
thing that you're like rendering it down to like a program level
You're
thing.
just making it
Island
clippy.
morph.
I don't trust anyone's driving, but my own, and so I'll just make a delta fork of that's entire job is to drive me around.
Yeah.
Most places are like, that's fine, because generally you just plug it into the machine or give it a case morph. It doesn't need to do anything super complex.
Yeah.
Beta forking is where
It's,
the line gets a little blurry. Typically they just say don't do it. Because that becomes a question of like, where's the line between a beta fork and a delta fork?
Yeah. It's not something you can really quantify when you're talking about modifying a human mind.
But the week passes, and it's you're all given a time for the meeting if for everyone that wants to attend, and you can meet her in the main in the capital ship, as they like to call it.
Fancy.
I'll go.
Sure.
Why not? I wish a motherfucker would.
What about Matt?
Am I not audible?
You're audible now.
Oh, I said I'll go.
Okay. So, all of you head over to the capital ship. Fairbreeze's office looks like you think it's hilarious, but you don't know what passes for style these days. Realistically, when it comes to decor, it looks like a yacht captain's vessel, is how she has it set up. Like
Like it's got like stereotypical like naval decor, like a seafood restaurant on the beach.
Yeah,
or something.
it looks like it looks like the interior of a Red Lobster.
Oh my
Yeah, I was
God.
gonna say, as somebody who actually lives in a port city, that is hilarious because I can imagine it very clearly.
Yeah. I don't know how it is in other countries, but at least in America, if you live in anywhere on the water, and if it is the least bit touristy, like if it's anywhere that anyone goes to on purpose, like people will go hard with the naval styling for just everything they can.
We'll go on.
I think that's like a universal.
Yeah.
Well, hell, everybody, come on in, take yourself a seat, and we can begin our little meeting.
Perfect. Thanks for your time today.
Not a problem, not a problem. I've done some investigating on my own, and I just want to see what questions y'all have, and we can get this all sorted out.
Yeah. Mostly I just wanted to find out, well, first of all, what were our credits taken from them in any way? I mean, I'm not exactly a financial expert, but from what I understand, the accounts were already there and they just needed to be converted to a different currency. So it shouldn't have come from someone else, right?
So what happened with that is it was at one point in USD, but to keep up with the times as everything progressed, Eventually, printing money seemed stupid. So folks started going down this line into crypto. It had a dip at one point. It looked like it was going to go away and, fade into obscurity, but it came back once people actually tied it to something that mattered. Now, whether or not you say that it matters depends on your outlook on an economy, I guess. But that's neither here nor there. So it was converted into crypto and it was banked that way. And, I believe the servers eventually were moved to Mars or something like that. And so the money just sat there collecting interest. From what I can tell, talking to my contacts, the money that was going in there wasn't always interest. I mean, it was, but some organizations were using it to launder the money.
I see.
Money would go into the accounts as interest accrued, and then at times, random intervals, an amount of money would come out as a service fee for keeping the servers running. Eventually, when you all woke up and had your own accounts made, you had the right and the permissions legally, as the corporations recognized and other associates recognized. Took some time to, get through that red tape, but no one cared. Well, no one officially cared to have that money moved into y'all's bank accounts.
All right.
Now that previous crypto bank that was being used to launder the money was empty and nothing could get pulled out. And then some money was getting put in, sure, but it didn't have the liquidity that it had.
Yeah, I imagine
So if they
laundering
needed
money.
to,
Oh, sorry.
so if they needed to pull out any money for an emergency, or if that was like an emergency fund for any groups that were acting, they suddenly lost access to it, and that could become problematic depending on who you're talking about.
Okay, so it wasn't taken from someone, but someone was using it while I was there for laundering and other things, and now they don't have access to it anymore and are upset.
That does seem to be the measure of it.
Oh, okay. So, well, that's a better situation than it could have been.
The question could be thrown in the air of, well, how much of that money that was put in there was actually interest, and how much of it was them just, building up their little hoard.
Yeah, I assume they didn't
as
expect us to ever actually wake up and use it.
no, I don't know if they were even aware of what the account was for.
That's fair.
Sounds
They
like this
probably-
thing happens often.
Yeah, they probably saw how old it was and said, well, nothing's going to happen to this. On account of, the most of the earth being turned into a wasteland. So it's not a, it was deemed safe by anyone that had any sense. But sometimes extraordinary things happen, such as you folks waking up from 300 years of cryostasis.
Yeah. Is there anything we should do to protect ourselves? I suppose. I mean, physically, probably, but financially, I don't know if it's possible for it to be stolen away or anything like that. Losing all of the resources we have in a still not quite entirely familiar time would not be good.
I mean, is there anything that you can really do other than, keep your account information safe? That way they don't have access to it. That's one thing you could do.
Yeah.
Otherwise, everything's down in a banking institution, likely housed on Luna, one of those, since that's where the biggest bank conglomerate is, and the one that we were near at the time. And that money's insured.
Oh, okay, cool.
So I've got a little bit of a question.
Sure.
And correct me if like you don't have the answer to this or something. Um, but regardless of how legitimate or not the money is, these people believe that we have taken their money and want it back. First off, what is their right to the money here in an autonomous fleet? And B, what can we, I guess, expect from these kinds of people who want their money back?
That's that's a good question. As an autonomous fleet, we don't care about credits.
Okay.
Hard stop. If you say someone owes you credits, that's for you and them to work out. We don't care. We don't work with credits. We work with rep. And we can prove whether or not someone did something to get all their rep. Not so
Okay.
much for the credits, because we don't give a damn, to be frank.
Yeah. Um, is it common for a group like the Triad to, I mean, clearly they use credits, but are probably also using the environment of the swarm to remain relatively safe. I assume that happens a lot.
Yeah.
But and there isn't really anything that security can do unless they specifically threaten our autonomy.
Have they imprisoned you, killed you, or stolen your ego?
Not as
Right.
far as I know.
That's kind of hard to prove if we don't have any knowledge of it, huh?
Well,
So far, to be honest, I think they're just trying to figure the situation out themselves from their end.
Yeah, I guess I'm just wary of any place that outright describes themselves as a criminal.
well, some folks want to know who they're buying from. It's easier on an autonomous swarm for groups like the Triad and other such organizations to make themselves known and make sure people are aware of them, because they don't have to. They get to actually work on the parts of their branding that they don't usually get to. Think of them as less than legal corporations. So their reputation still matters.
Yeah.
I imagine the Triad is more sore, not just about you taking their money, but also about the fact that to them it looks like you stole it out from underneath their noses. If another gang or an organized crime faction found out about that, they'd be viewed as weak. And for the Triad, that is a no-no. You said that it's the Triad that is operating here in the swarm, right?
Yeah, they're using I don't out of character remember the name of the restaurant, but it was
It
a
was the
week ago
Iron
in
Dragon.
characters. Yeah, they're operating with the Iron Dragon as a front. I don't know if they're all there, but at least some people are.
Calling it a front would be disingenuous because it's it's still a good place to get dinner. I mean, I go there at least once a week.
Yeah, that is true.
So you're probably liking talking to their Triad Sanshu.
Is that what her name was?
Shin Shoujing.
I out of character just don't remember names very well, so like
Yeah. Triad Sanshu is a leader of usually one of the many triads. The 14K triad, for example, is made up of a bunch of smaller organizations.
Mhm.
And the leader of each of those little organizations that make up the 14K triad is called a Sanshu.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
probably butchering the pronunciation on that, but
Yeah, I'll be honest. I don't really know what constitutes a triad. So, other than just being a like organized crime, but
but you said you were confronted by them. How'd they confront you? Did they pull pistols on you? Did they
No, it was actually pretty. It was mostly just polite, social. Like I said, I think she was just trying to figure out who we exactly were and how things even happened. So we don't really know what they plan to do, if anything. And we don't really know if we should take any particular precautions.
I mean, I personally advocate that you carry a gun on you just in case that they do want to get violent and see if they can rip your stack. That way they can get access to your account information.
Oh, we do that anyway, so.
Yeah. But I imagine what she was trying to figure out is to measure whether or not you were part of another organization.
Yeah.
Finding out that you're just a small group from out of time, let alone out of town,
Yeah.
probably struck her to be mildly curious and, see if she could make sense of that.
Yeah.
Seeing as you all are coming to me about, a concerning conversation that you had with her, I imagine that she walked away more confused than anything.
I think so, yeah. And I guess I can't really blame her for that. But so what would this have looked like from her end? Like looking at the account, just it's full one day and empty the next? Or putting transaction history show anything actually weird, or just
What it likely looked like was business as usual until the account number suddenly hit 0. Someone probably tried to pull something and got hit with an overdraft. They go, how? There's literally more money than we know what to do with in there. And upon opening it up, it was barren. So probably one of her boys out in the field, or someone that she was trying to do a favor, got left out high and dry, and now she looks all the worse for it.
Oh, I wouldn't want to be the henchman that has to report that.
Yeah. Might have been like their get out of jail money, or it's like bribe a guard kind of deal.
Yeah.
And then suddenly you go to do that and it's like overdrafted, denied. You've been flagged for XYZ cost, depending on the corporation. Probably just, probably landed one of her boys in hot water.
Yeah, here's your being poor fee if it works the same way as banks from our time.
Yeah. Corporations didn't get better when in the 300 years. They kind of just got worse. That's why I'm on the swarm. Used to be an administrator for a corporation. And then some questionable things happened and I wanted out.
That's fair.
But I still got my contacts and, they helped me out in a good spot.
Nice. Still working on building up our own.
Sense.
So with accounts like this, where just different organizations find accounts that they can use to launder, like was being done with ours, is it I don't know if it would be a common occurrence. I mean, I assume it would depend on how picky they are about which accounts they use, but when they go empty, it seems like it would just be an expected risk when you're doing that. Because if it's not your account, then something unexpected could happen with it. So they usually try to do they often get really upset and try to claim it back in some way, or do they generally cut their losses?
Well, they're not going to be able to claim it back in any official capacity.
Saving face aside.
Yeah, but they can, I guess, try to work around and circumvent things. I just want to make sure they're not going to come after us in force or anything.
Yeah. Also, do you think they just have a bunch of these anyway?
I don't imagine they have a bunch of them. Your accounts probably looked really safe because they had minimal activity for over 200 years.
Yeah, it was. I mean, I guess thinking about it, it was probably one of the better ones for that purpose.
Yeah, they ran into it. They probably watched it for a little bit to see if it was a honeypot.
Yeah.
And then once they found out that it wasn't, and that was legitimately active, to them it was like striking gold.
Yeah.
And there was it was a little risk account, little to no activity, no actual transactions for over 200 years. There'd be no reason to suspect that suddenly it was all going to go away.
I guess no low risk isn't no risk.
Correct.
Yeah.
Are they sore about the money? More than likely, it is a lot of money. But for her as a leader of an organized criminal organization, it is probably more a pride thing. If
Yeah.
she can get that money back, it repairs that a little bit. But I mean, I don't know the workings of a criminal organization. Depending on what's going on, she may think everything's all right, or you're not part of an organized faction that's trying to fuck her over. You're not one of the other factions within the triad trying to fuck her over. You're just some people that woke up from a 300-year nap and got what you're supposed to.
Yeah.
Does
And I
anyone
suppose
have?
with,
I believe I asked this last time. Does anyone have any knowledge criminals?
I do not.
Yeah.
The only one who might is probably actually Arnold.
Arnold didn't either.
Oh. Well, then definitely not. None of us are very criminally inclined, it seems.
Yep. That's fine. But, I mean, they can't do much on the swarm physically to
Yeah.
you. Them trying to access your information financially, it's a different concern. Everything operates off of an authentication code, so they'd have to get access to a lot of your accounts in order to get access to it. And with that much money, unless they're doing small payouts every once in a while, likely you'll notice it.
Yeah.
It's not foolproof. They could absolutely find a way to mess with your money. They did it once before.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, if security is perfect, I'll look around at the rest of the group. Everyone does have all of your normal multi-factor set up, and you know how to spot a phishing message, right?
You mean to tell me I shouldn't support that prince from Nigeria that's out of luck?
Yeah, Nigeria's not real anymore.
I need to click every link I see forever.
That sounds racist.
Hey, you talk to the Titans about it.
Okay,
And if
but
some random email asks me to put in my financial information, yeah.
Yeah, definitely. You really were the millionth visitor and are winning a prize.
okay, but
Actually, I haven't seen that
actually
in a
one
while.
time I did a while back find out that there was some rich baron in Nigeria that died without being able to find an heir for his money. I shit you not.
Damn.
Yeah,
That guy's like money heir finding prospects were ruined by people
someone's
just
not
popular Nigerian
answering
prince
their
scheme.
emails, I suppose.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's just like shotgunning random emails out into the aether isn't really the best way to do that anyway.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, okay, so it sounds like we should just follow normal account security measures and watch our backs to make sure we don't get shot. But if we do, they're kind of risking their own place on the swarm anyway.
And which is the point?
Yeah,
If they do anything physically to you, we can do something about it. But if they just steal your credits, again, we're a rep-based economy here, so
Sucks to suck.
yeah. I assume you can't really steal someone's rep because it's rep. Like
they'd have
that's
to
not.
steal your entire identity to do that.
Yeah, that's a. Well, I guess it might be easier to do now than back in the day if you can like just make a similar looking morph, but still a lot more work than been done so far.
Yeah.
Arnold was targeted a few times by one of their hackers, I guess. But I think it was just. I don't even remember what they did the first time.
Oh, they
Or what they tried to do together.
the first time, that they tried to hack into his system, like to get a look at his ego. It's just like, who the fuck are you?
Yeah.
Just to be clear, if they physically try something, we have every right to, defend ourselves by any means necessary, right?
Defend your freedom.
Hell yeah, brother.
That's good to know.
But
Actually,
yeah, no, as long as you don't look like the aggressor in the situation.
Oh, okay.
So that's the thing you got to worry about.
Yeah.
I think they need to be worried about it.
I've been meaning to talk to one of you about gun use help if you have the time at some point.
Barrel
I
points towards the enemy. Pull trigger. Any questions?
Oh. I've been doing that wrong this whole time.
I can show you the ins and outs at some point.
Awesome. Thanks.
You said you've been doing it wrong this whole time. No, you were trying to summon a persona.
Turns out actually was just using the gun as a really fancy club.
Yeah. That's why he kept breaking. Oh, okay.
Just fix it with Loctite.
Holding it by the barrel and just smashing people over the head.
Sometimes it really hurts my hands.
I cast gun.
Throw the gun at them. I mean, I guess that's still true. That's what casting means.
It's a fucking cursed Halo.
That's what went through my mind too.
Throw the magnum and just pull another one out.
Yeah, immediately thinking about that.
I forgot about that.
I love the throwing pistol.
Isn't there also like a whole fucking like gun manufacturer in Borderlands where you throw the gun as a grenade
Yes.
before pulling out
I
another
don't
one
know.
to reload?
Yes, that's one of the gun manufacturers. The rocket launcher is hilarious because it has a rocket engine, becomes a rocket.
I'm gonna trigger 1,000 gamers and say I don't know anything about Borderlands because I have taste.
That's fair.
Which I can
had
say that
taste
because
as
I
well.
don't know anything about Borderlands, so I can be completely wrong, and that's okay.
It's been one of those games where I like look at it and I'm like, yeah, this seems kind of cool in concept, but then if I've like tried to play it, I can't really get into it. The looter shooter is just not my thing, I suppose.
Yeah.
But Sarah, looks to you all. You all have any more questions that I can help you go over?
I don't think so. Well, I don't at least.
No, I think we're pretty set, honestly.
Any other criminal organizations we should be wary of?
Oh, tons.
Could we get a list of people that will probably paint a target on our backs once word of this starts spreading?
I'll tell you about the ones that we don't allow on the swarm.
Oh, they must be fucked up.
I assume like
that's probably
traffickers aren't allowed.
more valuable than a comprehensive list of criminal organizations.
So, intelligent design or ID crew, and then Nine Lives are the primary two that we don't allow on.
What do they do?
So, they primarily. Remember when I said steal your ID was a difficult thing that people could do?
Yeah.
It's a lot easier to do if they just steal your digital mind and then fork you ad nauseum and sell your forks into slave labor.
I recently learned a lot about forking. That sounds fucked up.
It is. Les schools, we also don't really allow. There's nothing wrong with selling illegal morphs, but it's the way they procure them that we're not okay with.
What are they like? stealing from people or something, like scavenge them out of it?
Yes.
Ah,
It's kind of fucked up.
yeah. They just like rip your cortical sac out of it and sell your body.
Yes.
Do they then sell the cortical stack to ID and the other one and
they can. Usually they get along well with ID crew because they operate in different areas, don't have to worry about, working off that, and they can sit there and if ID get pick someone up that they don't need the body for, that's in a good enough morph, they trade to Les Ghouls pays them. It's they shake each other's hands. Tongs are fine. Wild hunts. We're not okay with ego hunting. So
What's
bounty
that?
hunting's a thing that you can do, but you have to physically grab the person's ego. So rip them from, like, you can kill the body and grab the soul. We're not okay with that. The Wild Hunt is a gang that's their entire purpose is around that. Hidden Concern's fine. Night Cartel is fine. We don't talk about Pax Familia. We don't do pirates. No pirating here.
All right, so I know you said you don't talk about Pax Familia, but now I am morbidly curious and would like you to talk about Pax Familia.
So so you learned a lot about forking, right?
Yeah.
They are a gang entirely composed of one person.
Oh. Forks of one person.
Source ego.
That must make the orgies really weird.
Well, you mentioned that.
Oh, I know.
I'm sure that's the thing people do.
Yeah. I haven't been twiddling my thumbs for the last several months. I'll say that much.
I want to read the excerpt out of the book because I think the excerpt out of the book does the most justice for listeners.
Pretty sure it makes a joke about go fork yourself.
Pax Familia, main habitat, Ambelina on Venus. Many crime outfits are rooted in cultural groups or species, but the most restrictive one, by far, is Pax Familia. Every member of this cartel is a fork or clone of its founder, Claudia Ambelina. For her private habitat on Venus called Ambelina, Claudia creates clones from her original genetics or through sexual reproduction thanks to sex-switching biomods. All egos are forks, though she does use psychosurgery to vary her skills for certain tasks, loyal to herself. Claudia's methods means she need not fear traitors or undercover agents. Pax Familia has ego merging and XP recordings to keep every fork up to date with the activities of the others. Unlike some other multiples, Claudia always refers to herself in the singular. She has a wide portfolio of operations throughout the system: fraud, stock manipulation, reputation gaming, info brokerage, loan sharking, among others. She also maintains a number of legitimate businesses as cover. Claudia isn't afraid to get her hands dirty if something gets in her way.
Neato.
Well then.
Remember our conversation about
taking self-cess to a whole new level?
Yeah. Remember our entire conversation about, sometimes it's not great merging with multiple forms of yourself, especially ones that have been away for a number of months?
He's that.
Yeah, I was going to ask about that.
Logical extreme.
It's hard to tell you whether or not they're stable.
Well, it sounds like they'd be doing it regularly.
Yeah, but doing it regularly, but with like a whole lot of morphs, or a whole lot of forks sounds. And there's no way you completely reintegrate every single one of those every single day, right?
No, that's why they sometimes go longer periods of time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, perfectly stable individual there.
Yeah.
Also, probably one of my favorite criminal factions I've ever heard of.
Yeah, that's actually kind of awesome from like a fiction standpoint.
Yes. I never have to worry about someone betraying me because everyone's me.
It's all just copies of me. Yeah.
But would you, or you got to make sure you're not willing to betray yourself for any reason.
Well, obviously, she's not.
Yeah, apparently not. It's been
suppose.
working out so far.
I mean, she's fucking herself.
See what I mean? Got to really vet these memes.
It's not that we don't let Pax Familia on board. I just don't like thinking about it.
It's just a weird time.
Yeah. And then we make it a point to only allow one of the kind of triads on board. 14K was the one that got here first, so no Shui Fong, no Shui Yun, no Big Circle Gang.
Oh, is it so they don't fight each other?
Correct. That being said, there'd be each one of them would be very interested if there was suddenly an opening for a triad position here.
Yeah.
Shui Fong definitely has the most want as they're smaller than 14K, but have a lot of money to throw around.
Yeah. Smaller in population, but still have a lot of resources.
Yeah. But any other questions?
Oh, there was. This just came back to mind. I really feel like I should have remembered this, but it's been a whirlwind several weeks. I, out of character, don't remember who it was who was stalked by that person with like the kill switch.
That was I believe it was Matt and
Mako.
yeah, Mako.
I was gonna say if that was Arnold also, that would have been so funny.
The M&M team.
Yep.
Yeah. Hey, weren't you two stalked by somebody a little while
Yeah,
back
well,
when we were
we
brand new?
figured out we were being gang stalked.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
figured out that they were also tied back to the triad, right?
No.
Oh,
Uh,
No,
wow.
we did not figure out where they're from.
Didn't
I
we?
will say Sarah has kept me up to date on that. There is no connection that we've found yet to any organized group.
Ah, cool. Another one to keep an eye out for.
Yeah. Okay, so it's already known that someone was doing that and could be a future
These folks
problem,
keep
maybe.
on coming out of the woodwork, so I'm gonna start going. Fucking, I don't even know. Commando, Terminator. I mean, pick an action hero.
I feel like going commando is a different phrase all its own, so that might not be the best
Uh,
to use there.
I don't give a shit. I came into this world naked, screaming, and covered in somebody else's blood. I have no problem going out that exact same way.
and I mean, you won't actually really die.
Yeah, you can do it again.
Even better.
Just going commando will chafe depending on what kinds of pants you're wearing.
But since the ego was set on a kill switch, there was no information to really recover, and
Mhm.
the records were relatively clean. So they might have been a security bypass that Cortega has been trying to shore up.
Yeah. I know we're somewhat of a strange anomaly. I wouldn't be surprised if someone was just curious about what was going on with us. But we'll definitely keep our eyes open going forward.
Well, I think that you all, if you have any more questions, feel free to ask. I do have another meeting, so if there's nothing else, enjoy your day and stay safe.
Yeah, will do. Thanks again for your time.
Yeah,
Not a problem.
appreciate it.
So you all file out of her room and
Yeah.
do you all want to discuss anything?
I mean, for better or worse, not a lot to discuss right now.
Yeah, I will say
Where do we? I
situation
guess.
seems.
Oh,
sorry.
go on.
Situation seems better than it could have been.
I guess, do we want to just go try to clear the air with the triad? Be like, hey, we don't mean to offend. It's just, an amount of it is our money.
I don't know. Maybe just if they try to confront us about
Roll
it.
me savvy.
I
Just
mean,
everyone who's considering that, or just
his actual plan, but also his savvy. One moment.
let's see. Oh, my
Just
savvy's
straight
actually
savvy?
good.
Yeah, roll me straight savvy since you don't have or I'll let you roll intuition.
There's nothing straight about my savvy.
Cool. Neither an aptitude check?
No. Just rolling it raw since you're missing the skills.
I want you to understand. I am 1 over and critically failing.
Goddamn.
Yeah, both of them are 10.
Oh, I passed.
Okay.
On savvy.
So we'll start with the critical failure first.
That sounds like a great idea.
That's a great fucking idea. Just be upfront and earnest with them. Tell them what exactly went on, and that firmly plant your feet and say, "This is our money. You can't have it."
It's my money, and I need it now.
I did think of that immediately.
16. That's a terrible fucking idea. Because everything you just talked about, that would look like especially if all of you rolled up, depending on what's going on with the cameras and who has control over them, they could paint it. They could shoot you dead and paint it like you were hostile.
Yeah.
That's for starts. That's how things could start. And it's like, oh, you made this easy for us. There's also the other option of them not taking that well and, rubbing their face in it.
Oh, like thinking that's what we're doing.
Yeah. It could be inferred that way depending on how the conversation goes.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah. I don't think we should go that route. It could be taken a lot of bad ways.
Because you think about it, and now that you think about it, what's worse? Another rival gang who actively acts against you went under your nose, took all of your shit, or a bunch of fucking nobodies that can't even use today's technology got that money from you? Which one do you think would make you the bigger laughingstock?
Yeah. We did it in our sleep, too.
Yeah.
We're just that good.
Yeah.
The possibility of smoothing it over with them exists. But it's not going to be a
Simple
hey,
thing.
let's walk up and talk to their manager kind of deal.
Yeah. I think we should see what they do, if anything, and do our best to weasel out of the situation from there rather than going to them about it. Because they could take it in so many bad ways if we go there ourselves.
Oh, okay. I guess I'll leave it to you guys. You are this army, security, what have you, experts.
I mean, I just mean as thinking about what they do
birds,
and
man.
how they go about it. Yeah, that's fair.
Oz is just thinking about putting holes in people.
So no ordering
Oz, are you
food
okay?
there and just picking delivery instead.
Oz is mostly staring off into space, but that's what's going on in his head because Fury Morph. Because now he's worked up because he's thinking about somebody trying something. So now he's kind of going into aggro mode.
Morgan
Yes.
Osborne.
Yes.
Two lovely
Mm.
asyncs make me a psi test.
Oh man.
Okay. I suppose I could do that for you.
Aha! I got a 9.
If I could. Please. Please. There we
Please, I beg you.
go.
Oh man.
How bad do I want to flip this?
Um,
Its wretched human form is a prison.
fuck it. I will spend a flex to flip
All right.
it. To succeed. With a 58.
Both of you feel someone reach out.
Mm,
You feel like you're being watched without eyes. Like something or someone kind of reached out into the darkness and touched the two of you.
I will say I do have side camouflage and side defense at 2 each.
Same.
Whether that matters or not. Oh, you do? Nice.
Yeah.
Oh. I'm like,
Let me
I
double
don't
check.
know if that my roll still.
And before Brandon's like, never mind.
Like,
Y'all don't feel shit.
actually, I've got.
All it would affect, you would still feel it reaching out to you. It's a question of whether or not they get something back.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. I've got side camouflage at 4 because I have it on my ego at 2 and my morph. I forgot about that. I probably didn't need to take that twice. Assuming they're even. Do those even stack?
I'm not sure. I'll find it here in a second. You have Psych Camouflage, and what else did you guys have?
Side defense.
Yeah. Side defense
Okay.
to side camouflage too. So we have -20 to side detect. And +20 versus psi for our defense.
Okay,
Yeah.
so this would be Psi Detect. So
Possibly 40 for detect on my end if those are cumulative.
I guess that means I guess that means they'll make a roll.
Well, the
That's
side
fair.
defense is actually, what exactly does the side defense do? Because you can't write the entire fucking ability on this character sheet.
Yeah, I haven't gotten around to it, but I really want to make a spreadsheet for like that reason because I can do notes and cells and it helps a lot. Where's the
Your mind is inherently resistant to mental attacks and manipulations. Apply a +10 modifier per level to defense rolls against psi slight. So if they're using a slight against us to influence us, we have that. The psi camouflage is to prevent them from detecting us.
So Psi Camouflage would come into effect here because it's they're an individual is using ego sense.
Yeah,
sure.
that's what that's for. Yeah.
So they're at a -20 to detect you.
Yes.
Oh, that might be rough. But it's they do not detect Osborne. Because technically speaking, they still succeed on their test, but because of how you landed success wise.
I see.
The 9, however.
Oh, because it's not a superior. Oh, do my 2 instances of side camouflage to stack with each other?
Let me double check that. I do not believe so.
Oh, okay. So I have it.
Instances of psi camouflage.
I have it as an ego trait and a morph trait.
Yeah.
Each at 2. I don't remember if there was a section of like, if you can't have like something as an ego and morph trait. I think when I was building my morph, I had forgotten I had it as an ego trait and just put it on there. If it doesn't work, I'll just either replace it with something else or remove it, probably. If that's right.
You won't always have the same morph, is the thing.
Yeah.
It covers you more fully.
Well,
Yeah.
I always have my ego though.
That's what I
Yeah.
mean.
Yeah, like I was gonna remove it from the morph, not the ego.
Oh, fair.
You modified a Futuromorph. I thought the Futuromorph just came stock with it.
No, I don't think so. I think let me see. Oh geez, what was the
56. I guess it doesn't. But let's slight specializations. Morph traits. Eco traits. Either way, because even if it was a minus 40, they'd still technically be higher than you.
Oh, okay. So in this case, we don't really have to worry about whether it.
Yeah. I'll still look into it because I do want that answer.
Yeah.
But both of you feel something reach out, and it does sense, and you feel like shift its eyes on you, Morgan.
Yeah. We've talked about being asyncs with the rest of the group, right? Like, did we ever bring that up in character?
No, I think you actually very specifically hit it. I remember Osborne being wanting to keep it between you guys, and
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Let
Last time we
me.
talked about it, that's what his stance was.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I'm trying to find the SOD again so that I can just look things up because I want to see what I can do to detect them back.
Yeah, because I am like aware of them. Do I need to pop ego sense, or can I free range hit them with slights?
You would want to pop ego sense that way you like know where they're at, but you could you have a general direction. You'd be at a penalty if you just wanted to fire.
Yeah, I want an ego sense. I think.
I think I do too. Is that like the same thing they're doing basically?
Yes.
Yes. Unless otherwise noted, traits may only be taken once.
Oh, okay.
We should be careful with letting Osborne talk to Goblin Mask later.
It'll be fine, I'm sure.
Everything is fine.
Everything, in fact, was not fine.
Okay, so I just make a psi test, and then you roll the injection rating.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Gain 2 infection for that. Oh boy, number go up.
What's your number at now?
34.
How often does that go back down anyway? If it even does.
Essentially, when you freak out.
Yep.
Oh, great.
It just constantly builds up until it bursts.
What's the? It's Moxie you have to spend to put off the roll, right?
Yes.
Oh, I fucked it up.
I'm still in a public space. I think I'm gonna keep let this building. I'm gonna go ahead and spend the Moxie.
Okay.
Jeez.
Your slight does not go off, but you still test infection. So
yeah. So it'll be 28 for me now.
28.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm not going to spend the Moxie because honestly, the reaction is appropriate because of what my substrain is. If it does do that, so
83, so it fails. So the substrain does not cause a freak out.
Doesn't do substrain things.
Yep.
Yeah, I got a 55 for my scan. It does say it specifically works in close range. Well,
yes.
It says the presence and location of other sentient and biological life forms within close range Suffer modifiers for size, same as for ranged attacks. Superior successes provide additional details. Blah blah blah. Okay.
Well, you do have a superior success. You also have a critical success.
Hot.
And you know that they're within close range because they just use that ability on you.
That is true.
Yes.
What kind of... When I sense that, I'll like sort of make eye contact with Asborn as I try to reach out for them, but I'm not finding them. I just kind of look around.
Yeah, I'm assuming I know exactly where they are.
Oh yeah, they're like around the corner.
Oh yeah, so I am eyes honing in on that spot, and I'm going to start closing that distance.
Oh, that's empathetic scan. That's not what I want to look at.
Jeez, I'm still in the nurse section because we were looking at the thing about the future and had scrolled up another page, and the neotenic morph image looks cursed.
Yep. So approximate size, normal person size, like about 5'6", 5'7". You have their exact location, and it is another transhuman.
Okay.
Your critical success would generally tell you whether or not they have some sort of exurgent strain, but you kind of already have that information.
Which I don't believe venture, I guess.
Think they might be infected.
Quite possibly. So, I mean, technically speaking, they'd be to figure out whether or not you detect them. Oh, no. Okay.
Oh boy,
Ghost in the
have
machine,
fun.
baby.
Did they critically fail trying to figure that out?
They critically failed the exact same thing that you two did, which was, do you feel something like reaching out in the darkness for you?
Yeah. Oh, so they're just like, yeah, I fucking got them. They don't know shit.
Yeah, it's just like they're focused, especially since they missed him.
Yeah.
They're focused on you, Morgan, and let me double check this ability. It's a weird sensation. You get the sense someone's trying to talk to you.
Oh, me
I
or
remember what
Osborne?
happened last time we got this
You.
sensation.
You don't quite get to resist it because Mind Link doesn't work that way.
Yeah, but it doesn't have like a negative effect or anything because they're just talking, right?
Yeah. And you hear in your head, another freak I see on the ship. I'm starting to get lonely.
Am I able to speak back?
Yes, it's a two-way communication.
Oh, okay. I will tentatively attempt to speak back. Just, oh, I see. I was definitely expecting more aggression. So,
Not for me. I'm a woman of simple tastes. So's my boss. But I didn't expect to find someone like you.
I didn't either.
Just let me know when I round that corner.
Yeah, I'm just like, I'm probably. Is Osborne like going off by himself in that direction? Because if so, I'll follow him.
He's moving.
I think I can guess what Osborne's after, so I'll just go there too.
He is. He is a shark that smells blood in the water right now.
You get an image in your head sent to you.
Mm-hmm.
Of the front that is the Iron Dragon.
Yeah. What about it?
Well, I had some thoughts, and as like this sentence is going, it interrupts itself. As Osborne, you turn the corner and you see this smaller, like young woman, in a fury morph, like leaning against the corner, and like as you turn, she's like, she kind of like stops and is like, "Oh God, can I help you?"
Yeah, he is gonna like 6 foot distance, but like he's gonna be up on her essentially. And be like, who the fuck are you and what the fuck do you want? Talk now. My patience is this thin.
She puts her hands up. Whoa, 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 whoa. I am just doing my job, making sure that you guys are fine. I was told that I need to keep watch on you. I have she will open up her coat and it's like I have a data pad right here, has Sarah's name on it, signed, sealed, delivered. I'm part of your bodyguard crew. Since we had those one freaks stalking 2 of you.
Didn't know we had a bodyguard crew.
It was something that was asked for, and she did say that you guys would have increased security.
What's my like? What would I roll to detect bullshit?
EP6.
Right. I forgot. Oh, the thing I okay.
Thing that you're great at.
It's just it.
I've been
Am
working
I
on that
just
lately.
rolling my rank, or is it considered an aptitude check if I don't have the skill?
If you don't have the skill, you were just rolling your rank. An
Oh,
aptitude
yeah.
check is like, hey, I need you to lift a gate.
Yeah, aptitude check is for straight characteristic checks.
I'm
I'd
gonna
rather
try
than things you
because
don't have skills in.
Yeah.
He's gonna try to fit. Okay.
So is that a critical failure?
That's
Or is it-
it's a 55 compared to the 15 or below I needed to roll.
Ooh.
If I can give it a shot, I'll try it, but I'll wait for that result first.
Feel free to try it. You can try because you said you were following him, so you're able to like see her body language, and you know you had mental context, so you have a little more context. I'll give you a plus 20.
Oh shit, nice. 51 out of 80 with the plus 20.
So you have a superior success. We'll get to you in just a second. 55. She checks a bunch of boxes. She's a fury morph. She's carrying a gun. She's hovering at a distance.
Okay.
The part that strikes you as odd is that she's an async, but you know, not that not everyone's supposed to talk about that. So maybe she just uses it as an added benefit. That way, she doesn't actually have to keep eyes on you.
Yeah, he's gonna grumble and be like, "Well, she should have been clear about who exactly was going to be tailing us then."
She lets like her little coat drop, and she's just I told her that I should have said that we should have sent a message, but she didn't want to scare you folks, and she starts like making excuses for her boss. Morgan.
Yes.
With a superior success, you know that both things that you've been told are true.
Mm-hmm.
You know that she is connected in some way to the Triad. Because, the conversation that you're having with her in your brain.
Yeah.
But you also know that she's telling the truth that, like, Sarah set her up to act as a bodyguard. And, like, Sarah checked her off.
Yeah.
So, the other two, the two of them are just sitting there, like, being a part of a normal conversation when both of them kind of like look around for a second. Osborne looks in a direction and just starts marching before like turning a corner and going, "The fuck are you doing here?" Essentially, like, who the fuck are you?
Marco just goes, huh?
And then you hear
Question.
this conversation occur. She
Quick
comes around the
mental
corner.
message. Quick mental message. Oh, what the fuck's going on? Question mark.
She comes around the corner, both her hands up.
Yeah.
Part of your new part of the new detail. Sarah wanted someone that way we're not constantly trading shifts and having information move around. She wanted someone she could trust. She chose me. I agreed to it. I'm getting good rep for this.
She
She's
was
safe in my hands.
She was the lady we met at the diner, right?
No. The only person that ever met her was Arnold.
Yeah, I was
All
kind of
right.
wondering about that. She's the same one. So
Yeah, of course, the football head isn't.
It's great.
yeah.
Oh.
Well, I appreciate the extra security. Does Sarah know about your other employment, though?
Did you say that out loud or do you say that mentally?
Out loud.
So all of you hear that.
What other employment?
I have multiple employers. I am hired muscle. I won't deny that I get paid by other people to do work.
Yeah.
All right.
Everyone needs a good gun.
Fair enough. But
I understand
context.
that. I'm just a little worried about conflict of interest given some of our recent circumstances with
Oh,
a
shit.
particular triad.
Let me do a proper introduction. I apologize. You can call me Tabitha Fang. I am connected to the triad. That is correct. Everyone's here about open information. I wasn't gonna hide it. Be honest, hoping you guys didn't ever have to see me. Didn't work out that way. This one's got a sharp ear, nose, eyes. I didn't think I peeked around the corner at any point.
He's just hard staring. Inner monologue is like, "Don't rip her apart. Don't rip her apart. Don't rip her apart. Don't rip her apart."
Yeah, the biological processes that the Fury Morph have are like trying to just push you to go. Like you can feel like your fast acting muscles try to like move you, but it's exhilarating at the same time that it is like frustrating.
Yeah.
My position is that of an enforcer as a red pole. I keep people in the organization in line. You are not part of the organization. Not a thing you have to worry about when it comes to me. I'm here for bodyguard Dewey because I don't want freaks running around on this ship trying to ego nap people or whatever the fuck they were doing.
Yeah.
If you find it to be a conflict of interest, happily talk to Miss Steele. She'll reassign me or put someone else on the job. But I assure you, and she sends you a mental message, especially you, I'm one of the safer people that you can have at your side.
She sent to me.
Yeah, she sent the mental message to you through
Yeah,
the
as far as she
like,
knows, you're the only async because she still hasn't picked up
correct.
that I'm weird.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because she critically failed her fucking.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Okay. That's good to know. I mean, I understand how freelance work works, so I get it. It's different from being. Well, are you actually a member of their organization? To be honest, I don't know a lot about how something like a triad works.
I am. I'm what's called a red pole. I am an enforcer. It's a higher level position. It's not, top of the board, but
Yeah.
I'd be, if to put it in like standard military terms, probably be like a sergeant.
Oh, okay. I assume no one's seen anything of the one who was originally spying on some of us. Again,
No, not a peep.
I guess no news is good news.
Yep. And because I'm here, and because of my well-earned reputation, she kind of straightens her coat. People that would want to fuck with you know better,
Fair.
because then if they mess with me, then they mess with the triad. They mess with the triad, then they have to worry about an entire organization coming down on their head and not just some hired muscle on this autonomous swarm. So,
Yeah. What happens if the triad decides they have a problem with us, though?
they wouldn't be sending me, but then I have to choose a side if I'm currently in the active roster. But we don't need to discuss that. As at that point, I would remiss myself of the position if it ever did become a problem, because they're not gonna. If one of the jackasses in the organization run up try to rob you, I'm gonna shoot them. I have to, for multiple reasons. As both my duty as an enforcer for the organization and as your bodyguard. If they say, we need to do something about you folk and whatever the fuck you got going on, I don't give a shit, they still pay me, then I will recuse myself from this position. Someone else will step in. No longer my problem.
Okay. I can see why you wouldn't want to be caught in the middle of things that way.
No, it's bad for job security
Yeah.
on multiple ends. But between you all and me, don't think they're going to do anything physical, if that makes sense. Not really their style on the ship, unless, someone starts trying to muscle in where they shouldn't. But that's more of a criminal thing that we have to worry about, us criminals, whatever that means on this floating barge.
Yeah. Well, if I can feel the mind link still open, I'll message back. What was it you were going to bring up about the Iron Dragon before?
You will get a mind link is weird. So you get the emotions of safe, secure, and happy sent to you. Not any words, not an image. You get emotions sent to you. You're in good hands. You're fine. That's all you need to know.
So they're not upset thinking that we did something to them? Because that seemed to be the case last time we ran into each other.
Only one person's upset. Now, her being in charge, different conversation.
And that's what I'm worried about. I don't know if I'm actually able to have this conversation with words, but I know just for the sake of gameplay expediency, I'm just doing that.
Yeah, we're just going to go back and forth via the mind link.
Yeah. Oh, by with words, I mean like if the mind link doesn't work in words, then.
Yeah, it works in words.
Oh, okay.
She's like purposely sent emotions.
I see.
But it's nothing that you all need to be very concerned about. there are powers that be that stop her from doing anything hasty. She's fairly level-headed, and this is only a recent development. She'll calm down.
Yeah.
She might even offer you work. Although, from my understanding, you don't really need any financial compensation.
Yeah, that's true. I
If we
assume
did,
our
we would
accounts.
be. Oh, sorry. This is still mental, right?
Yeah, so because
No,
I
it's
didn't want to
fine.
just like open to the whole group. They're like, hey, we got psychic powers because we hadn't broached that subject
No,
yet.
I get you. It's totally fine.
She will also say that out loud, where it's just like, only one person's a little mad. She'll get over it.
Okay.
And that, at some point she may even offer work, even though you all probably don't need the money.
Mm.
Oh, okay.
So that echoes
yeah,
to you. So it's like having in-game voice on with Discord.
Yeah, I was
Yeah,
gonna
oh,
say
jeez.
if we did need the money, we wouldn't be in this position.
Yeah, that's true. Since the conversation is now verbal, I'll switch to that just so that everyone can participate. I assume ours wasn't the only account that was being dipped into, but it does seem like it was probably one of the better ones, so I can see why.
Oh, absolutely. It was a delicious account. And it was one that she personally found when she was working her way up. It's why she has the position she has.
Oh, so is it a potential threat to her position? Do you think she'll do anything? Well, you said powers. Yeah.
The powers that be, being the people that run the swarm, she would lose a lot more than just her position if things went wrong here. And she acted out hastily. She's not a hasty acting person, so give her time, she'll cool off. And again, might potentially offer you some work in the future. I don't know. I don't pretend to know how she thinks.
Okay.
She will send you an image of her laughing her ass off to you.
Because she can read minds and does know how she thinks.
Yes.
Okay, yeah, that's fair. I did that too when we met her. She seemed more confused than anything else.
She will mentally send you a question. What's with your friend here? I didn't notice him at all.
I don't know. What do you mean?
Right.
No, I really don't. Did you just not? I'm kind of new to this, so.
Fair. Would you? Do you by any chance know a Carly?
Why do you ask? I've met so many people lately, so.
I want to make sure we know the same people.
Is this also in MindLink?
This is also in MindLink.
Okay, that's probably good for her health.
It is.
Oh, geez. Yeah, that's true.
Friend of let's say she's a friend of a friend.
I don't know if a kinesics roll works for MindLink. I mean, she's in front of me.
Yeah,
but she's not physically talking.
She's like, while this mind link is going on, she looks to the other two because she's gonna hold two conversations at once.
Yeah.
Do you all like? I'm not gonna like run you all coffee or anything. Do you all want to sit down and get food though, and like talk about plans? Because I'm only one person. I gotta make sure I'm covering as many of you as I can.
I mean, that might not be a bad idea.
You're missing one. Where'd your one?
He is doing him things.
Okay. He's a good shot. I do know that he was good with his gun.
I got to get practicing on a range at some point.
I'm happy to show you there and you work on that. Mind you, I had to have most of you go because got to stay near where most of you are. So, while that goes on, that's when you're getting that message of, "Do you know Carly?" She's a friend of a friend.
Yeah.
And no, you cannot do a kinesics through mind link.
Yeah. I don't know if there's any kind of like intention sense that would work, because I guess kinesics is just the skill for that.
Kinesics is like the judge intentions skill, essentially, because you're judging their body language. You could still roll it, but it's going to be difficult.
Oh, okay.
I'm going to say you're at a minus 30. Because while she's mind link talking to you, she's having an entirely different conversation with an entirely different subtext attached to it.
Yeah. I don't think there's a world where like Morgan wouldn't try to figure out what she's asking.
No, absolutely. It's just going to be rough.
Yeah, so like even if I'm like, oh, I might critically fail this, so maybe I shouldn't. Like, nah, this would get rolled anyway. You said it was minus 30. Wow, I actually passed that. Holy shit. Or
Yeah,
wait,
right.
no, I didn't. I'm sorry. I was
Nope.
looking at the wrong thing. I barely failed it though. It's 36 out of 30 after the penalty.
Man, it's hard to fucking read her. You don't know how she's doing this. She's having a conversation with you while actively talking to other people. So she could have learned how to do it. That way it's easier for her to do things like this.
Yeah.
But yeah, you can't read her. Can't get a good read.
Damn, I've got to figure out how to do that at some point.
What about you, tall, dark, and scary?
What about me?
Looking with a gun, you want to try out the range?
Sure.
Oh, but I figure out how to do it. I meant what holding two conversations. Although I do also need to figure out guns.
Well, yeah, she was, as part of the conversation out loud, turned to Oz.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yep.
IRL, it's hard to keep track of two conversations.
Well, yeah, when they're both coming from the same source, that makes it more difficult.
Come on. To make up for, the situation here, I'll buy the round. I'll take care of all that. Well, buy rep. I'll spend the rep on the rounds, and get some people to give us some guns if people want to try them. Anyone want to try anything new that they're not using?
I mean, I need to still get used to the one I'm got.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Since I don't think I'm going to like slip anything past her in this, I'll actually just say I did meet someone named Carly in passing when they first figured out I was an async. How do you know Carly?
You get sent several raunchy images.
Wait, of Carly or of her like just general idea of raunchiness?
Of Carly. Also, me and her, I work for more than just the triad and the ship. Me and her have a similar employer.
Interesting. So it looks like the relationship between you two is positive. That's good.
Oh, you can say that.
Yeah.
She has no idea how much danger she is in.
It is so good it worked out the way it did.
It is.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay. I will relax a little bit that I'm like, okay, she's not like, as far as I can tell, at least an enemy of Carly, that I was a little on edge from like, all right, try to just figure it out. The substrain hasn't actually taken over me yet, so I'm like, I can hold it off and not instantly go
bananas.
Yeah.
Bananas.
Bananas.
For a better idea, we were classmates.
Yeah, she mentioned that. Very well, the class.
Yeah, it was definitely a great fucking time. But we're gonna not talk here no more. This is getting kind of bothersome to me. Having to, as she continues to, as you're all walking and talking, and she's talking about like different guns and like the different ammo types. Like the conversation, physical conversation, has definitely dipped a bit.
Yeah, understandable. Gotta figure that trick out though.
And I think with that, I'll call session here. Just kind of want
Okay.
Ollie
Yeah.
to be here for
Guns.
well, for guns and for meeting up with the first member he met of the second member of the triad that he met.
Oh yeah, I guess he did meet the octopus hacker first.
Yeah. So, questions, comments, suggestions. Everyone have fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This bitch is gonna die.
Carly is her own person. She's allowed to have sex if she wants.
So Zach, do you know?
Yeah.
And I want this recorded. Everyone, listeners,
Yeah.
I want you all to know this. Remember when I had you roll a bunch of dice?
Yeah.
Remember when I told you I needed you to roll more dice?
Yeah.
That's when I figured out, before I told you to roll more dice, I found out she was an async. I wanted to see what disorders she wound up with.
Uh-huh.
She wound up with sexual deviancy.
Oh no. Oh.
Carly did, or
Carly did.
oh jeez.
I just stared at that as just like, I don't know if this is Osborne's kid or Zach's.
I mean, Osborne got a TF kink as a substrain, so
God.
that's
true.
When that thing pops, it's gonna be fucking. It's gonna be a time.
Yeah.
I can't.
All I'm saying is, this woman better hope she doesn't do anything to upset Carly, because, oh boy.
Because you've already been like substrain directed, protect the hell out of Carly.
Yeah, he's a fury morph on top of that, and everything is working against her in terms of safety right now.
Gonna be a spicy little time.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, this is a grand old time. I'm loving it.
Yeah.
I'm very happy I get to run Eclipse phase. One of my favorite systems. Everyone, you get 2 res points.
Nice.
A week will not be passing between here and now. So far, 7 weeks have occurred for people to do training.
Oh shit. How many res points are we at total?
You weren't at the last session, so you'd be at 15.
Oh, I see. I'm being bullied.
Yes.
Oh wait, do I have
Okay.
too many? I've got 19 after the 2 we got today.
And 19 is the correct amount if you
19 is-
you appear to every session.
Correct.
I have 8 spent though. Should that only be 7?
Should only be
Yes.
7. You can only spend once a week.
Okay, I must have spent an extra one when we were doing it last time. I'll undo one of those.
And then, Ollie, if you're watching this in the future, whenever I post this, you do not get your 2 res points because you were not here. How dare you celebrate a family member's birthday?
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
It's kind of cringe.
They should have rescheduled their birthday. You know?
Yeah.
It's priorities, people. Priorities.
But thank everybody for listening. You have a wonderful night. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.